Okay, so I was saying that I'm really glad to be here because Dalla parte, bambine was my PhD dissertation topic, while I'm currently studying Christian Bruel's books as part of my postdoc project at the Université Clermont Auvergne. So, thank you for this chance to speak about Dalla parte, bambine and Bruel's picture books. So, Dalla parte delle bambine, which is on the side of little girls, was the first feminist publishing house for children's literature in Italy, founded in 1975 by Adela Turin, who directed it and also wrote most of the books. Dalla parte delle bambine played a very important role in introducing children to unconventional and independent female characters. This paper will investigate a particular collection, I libri del pugno nelle nuvole, the books of the feast in the clouds, and their travel from France to Italy. Special attention will be paid to the unconventional boys portrayed in these books. The name of this collection refers to the Solir-Kimor logo, faithfully reproduced by Turin on the Italian translations. I libri del pugno nelle nuvole consisted of three picture books. Chiara, la bambina che aveva un ombre ragazzo, translation of Histoire de Julie, chi avait un ombre de garçon. Chi piange, translation of Qui pleure. La mangia nera, translation of La Mangie Noire. All three of these books were written by French publisher and writer Christian Bruel and illustrated by French artist Anne Bozellet, as well as published in France by Bruel's publishing house, Le Sourire qui mord, The Smile That Bites. This revolutionary publishing house offered French children innovative, visually sophisticated, and provocative picture books, to quote Beckett. Inside the catalog of Dalla parte delle bambine, these books stand out in multiple ways. First of all, Dalla parte delle bambine published only 7 translations: a short story by French writer Georges Sand, 2 fairy tales by Hans Christian Andersen, the miscellaneous book Sexism in Children's Books, and indeed I libri del pugno nelle nuvole. Furthermore, Adela Turin wrote most of the books and in general selected only female writers and artists. As a matter of fact, the publishing house authors Andersen, the Norwegian writer Henrik Ibsen, and Christian Bruel. Additionally, leafing through Dalla parte delle bambines catalog, it's easy to note that Turing focused on empowering role models for girls, while neglecting the possibility of including unconventional male characters. Indeed, the boys, if present, often form homogeneous collective characters with the girls, or they are presented in a less positive light. While they are not depicted as wicked characters, like most men are in Turin's stories, they are not portrayed favorably either. In contrast, 2 of Bruel's books feature precisely 2 unconventional boys as protagonists. Through interviews with Bruel, I could retrace the history of the translation of these titles and realize Turin and Bruel's mutual appreciation of each other's books. France, end of 1975. The feminist publishing house De Femme publishes Rose Bonbon, Rosa Confetto, and Après le déluge, Una fortunata catastrofe. From then on, many more picture books will appear in the libraries. It's a great success. IRSCL, critical and public acclaim, and of course some negative reviews as well. Among others, the collective Pour un autre merveilleux, animated by Christian Bruel, defends Rose Bonbon against the French reactionary. Nonetheless, inside the collective, the members debate heatedly about this book, and they criticize some traits. For example, the ending, where all female elephants become grey, like the males. Indeed, it's from these discussions that the idea of Histoire de Julie, qui avait nombre de garçons, is born. Julie will be published in 1976, first by a press agency in media, and then by Bruel's just-founded publishing house, Les Solir Kimor. As one will writes, the book is a success. Over 5,000 copies were sold in 1 year. Some time later, Turin, who while living in Italy frequents the Parisian milieu et le mouvement de libération des femmes, discovers Julie, admittedly a resounding case, and is so impressed that she contacts Bruel in order to translate the book. Histoire de Julie, translated into Italian as Chiara, che aveva un ombra ragazzo, Chiara, who had a shadow boy, would then be released by Dalla parte delle bambine in September 1978, along with Chi piange, who cries. Shortly after, in 1979, La Mangia Nera will also come out. Let's complete this publishing overview. Bruel recalls that these 3 books were also published, precisely because of Turin's involvement, in Spain by Esther Tusquets' publishing house Lumen, which was already publishing Turin's books. Thus, there was a fertile network of relationships between authors and publishers, interested in offering children unconventional and progressive quality books. Focusing on I libri del pugno nelle nuvole, it's important to highlight some traits. It will be very interesting to investigate the many changes made to the books by the Italian translation, starting with Julie's cover and title. But in this paper, I have decided to focus on the unconventional boys presented in the collection. Regarding the translator, I note that only in Chi piange, Adela Turin's name is mentioned. I asked Bruel if he knew who carried out the translations, and he was not sure, but suggested that Turin herself did. As Turin had a native speaker's command of French, participated in production of almost all the books of Dalla parte delle bambine, and translated from French an agenda about author Colette, I strongly suspect that she translated Bruel's book too. The first book, Histoire de Julie, qui avait nombre de garçons, he considered a feminist icon as fact writes. One of Bruel's most popular titles, it's still on sale both in France, published by Thierry Magnet, and in Italy, with a recent retranslation carried out by Sette Nove. Today, I don't focus on the protagonist, a garçon manqué, as her mother calls her a tomboy, but on the boy who appears only in final pages. This boy is crying alone at the park, away from the bullies. Everyone says he has un tête de fille, a girl's head. The Italian translation directly uses the word femminuccia, sissy. It's remarkable to note that this boy is not presented negatively or in need of change. On the contrary, this encounter proves valuable. To quote a wed, through sharing the pain caused by their failure to conform to their assigned gender identities, the children realize they are not alone. Julie Chiara finds the strength to say to him, everyone says that girls must do girl things, and males male things. You never have the right to do what you want. It's like they have 2 jars, one for girls and one for males, and they don't know where to put us. I believe that you can be a girl and a boy if you want, the 2 things together, and no jars. While the Italian translation, that I quote, is quite different and in general tamer than the original French, it's still of great impact, especially considering the Italian context of the time. In Chi piange, the main character, Marco, a little boy, sees an old woman crying in the metro. This is the beginning of a journey to discover the importance of the tears and the different reasons why people cry. Marco's evolution is evident. If at first he tells the old woman, one doesn't cry like a sissy when one is a boy, one doesn't cry like a small child when one is grown up, and still he worries that he cannot become a dad because dads don't cry and he likes to cry. At the end of the book, he confides to his mother, "It's not always bad when you cry." In La Mangea Nera, the protagonist's mother is away because she's participating in the occupation of factory to ask for more vacation and free time. Tony is then cared for and fed by two sisters who have opposite views of cooking, ultra-modern or traditional. The boy gets interested in cooking to the point of dreaming of preparing a real feast. "I was a great associate. I cooked and nothing could stop me anymore. I had 1,000 harms. I was cutting myself. I was burning myself. I was making mistakes. I still had many secrets to discover, but I was cooking." In the end, the factory workers win, and Tony returns home. Final surprise. His mother doesn't use the new free time to cook with him, but prefers to take up cello and Indian swimming. To realize the importance of proposing books with such male characters to young Italian readers of the time, we can recall Bellotti's spot-on observation in her famous essay Dalla parte, delle bambine. We ridicule a little boy who is afraid. It seems to us very normal in a little girl. If a little girl whines, we tell her she's boring, but we listen to her. If a little boy doesn't eat, we tell him he's a sissy. And about the scarcity of unconventional boys within children's literature, the American feminist group Women on Words and Images wrote, only a few years before Bruel's books were published. The readers contain a strong taboo against boys being dependent sissies at any age, than they do against young girls breaking out of their mold tomboys a little bit. Girls must abruptly root out the so-called masculine component of themselves when they become teenagers, but boys must never give way to the so-called feminine component. Boys never cry, they need no one. In proposing books with unconventional male characters, Bruel was thus making an important and conscious operation. Today still, there is a lack of tolerance for unconventional boys. Regarding this, BMI writes, "I think at the root is a homophobic attitude that affects boys more than girls, and among males, children more than adult men. It's not by chance that when a boy manifests tastes and attitudes attributed to the other gender, he is without fail called a femminuccia, sissy. This word implies that a child or a man is weak, shy, sensitive, fearful, cries easily, and has homosexual tendencies. Don't be a sissy is a clear social warning to their tastes and attitudes that are not consistent with a real male." In conclusion, i libri del Pugno nelle Nuvole were significant in offering children not only avant-garde readings, but also unconventional female and male characters, particularly rare in the Italian context of the time. Turin's decision to import these titles into Italy also provides a better understanding of the mission of Dalla parte delle bambine and confirms its commitment to present Italian young readers with books that challenge the social literary conventions in the turbulent and revolutionary 70s. Thank you for your attention. I'll leave you some references and my contact information. I will later be happy to answer your question. Thank you.